My Perpetual Grow. Hi friends, it's Adam, the crippled cannabis cowboy. Thanks for watching my video on how I came across my Perpetual Grow. Subscribe to the channel. Please remember I have major brain damage and speech problems, so it takes time to keep things simple. As far as needing a Perpetual Grow, you need tents, you need equipment. And I remember where I started with just one tent, one light, and one fan. That was it, and I got started. Since then, that was almost a couple years ago, but since then, I mean, in my bed, now mind you, I'm crazy disabled, so I can't move, and I have massive brain damage. So I keep 4 tents next to my bed because they help keep me up. They keep me active. They sort of prevent me from going bedridden. What I've noticed in time is I happen to like the Perpetual Grow, and if I put a plant in the seedling stage, like if I plant a seed every month that's a female, I'm okay. I have plenty of cannabis, and if I plant one every 3 weeks, then I have a massive amount. I mean, you kind of already have a lot. As you learn, you get better, so the plants get bigger and more vigorous and more lush, and you're just gonna have more flowers to play with. Behind me is where they start. Actually, it's a 2-in-1 tent, and I have a couple seedling bins, and you're gonna notice everything is wrong. Anytime you share a picture, anytime you let someone know what you're doing, there's kind of like this injection of their method, and their method is the only way. Now, there are so many ways to grow this plant, it's unreal. So, this is mine and how I came across my Perpetual Grow. Now, I have my seedling area where I sprout my seeds. Then I have a little area in the 2x1, 2-in-1, whatever. That's like my overflow for my veg plants. Then I have a veg tent, where after they come out of the seedling bin, they go into the veg tent for a certain amount of time. You gotta like determine what you want to do. 2 months is how long a veg plant before it goes into flower. Then I have a flower tent, and then I have a drying tent. So there's 4 different tents that I use. It took a while to get the timing down, but I'm pretty confident that I'm getting close. I don't want to say I have it down. I don't have anything down, but I'm getting closer. And in the seedling bin, they go about, I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks maybe. And then they graduate into the seedling bin. They graduate into the veg tent. So that's kind of when I put them on the schedule. From that moment on, I usually put them in the flower tent in 2 months. Sometimes you have a strange cultivar that's just not growing the way you want, or sometimes they get too big, so you gotta kind of time it. After about 2 months, they go into the flower tent. Typically, I like to keep 4 plants max in the flower tent. It's gone as high as 6, and it's gone down to 2, but I'm noticing that I can fit 4 pretty comfortably. And maybe it's 3, who knows, who cares. When they go in the flower tent, they kind of maintain this clockwise motion. So in the front right would be 1, and back right would be finish. So it would go along the stages of the flower tent depending on how long they've been growing. So that helps me keep it simple. And most of the time it's about 9 weeks, maybe 10 weeks to finish a regular cannabis plant. And then once in a while you run into one of those sativa kinds that take like an extra month. I learned to not worry about it too much. It just, if it's a sativa, it goes into that final area that I have in my flower tent. Mind you, I do rotate my plants every week. I pretty much rotate them. And when it's in that final spot, it stays there until it finishes. So if it's a sativa, it just stays right there. The other plants go into the spot right before it. And when they finish, they get clipped. When that sativa finally finishes, I clip it. Maintaining this routine has kind of, when I add one, I take one away. That kind of thing. And that's where you need a good drying area. There's a lot of things I have to tune in. Right now I have 4 tents in the same room, and I'm noticing the flower tent, the flowers seem a little better when the air is cooler. However, the veg tent likes it warm and semi-humid. So I really don't know what to do. In my opinion, I would love to keep my seedlings and my veg tent separate, but hey, that's the way it's working right now. So that's what I do. I'll sprout some seedlings and they grow in the seedling area for like a month, and they go into the veg tent and they stay there about 2 months, and then they go into the flower tent in this clockwise circle, and then they get clipped and go in the dry tent. So I have 4 stages, and I do have an area behind me for spillover, and that's 2x2. In time, you learn the right method for yourself. You're gonna grow too many plants, you're gonna grow not enough plants, you're gonna do all kinds of stuff. Now, this is just my method, and it's subject to change quite a bit. Once in a while I'll do a scrognet. Once in a while I flower everything at the same time. But mostly I seem to keep kind of graduating to the perpetual grow, because it just keeps a lot of different kinds of cannabis around. Thanks for watching my video on my perpetual grow. And as I learn, you'll learn. And this is just one method of so many I can't even count. Several, we'll say several. But I happen to like it because if I have too much, I could give it to a friend. If I want to give a plant to someone, I could give a plant to someone. I'm just one of those generous kind of people, and that's just what I like to do. So you do you, and whatever you like to do. The best way to learn in this game is to learn yourself. You could self-teach yourself and ask questions. That's kind of what I did. All my experience is a long time ago, and everything has changed since then. So don't be afraid to ask questions.